Hello, my name is Bria. I am the crocheter and designer and maker behind Meadow Sage Crochet. This is going to be a video about me preparing and going to ignore the absolute chaos that is my background. There was a leak in the roof. I had to move everything. That was the short story. Let's just say that. But if you like market vlogs, crocheting, noise from people stomping around upstairs apparently, then stay around. But let's just get into the actual content. I mean, not that this isn't content. You know what I'm getting at. So if you didn't watch my last market vlog, I only have 3 weeks. Well, had. I'm like 2.5 weeks out. I only have 3 weeks in between that market and which is like a fandom convention that I'm going to be selling at. And it's my first ever 2-day convention. Well, first ever convention in general. Usually I just go to markets. First ever 2-day place I'm selling at. It's gonna be a Friday and Saturday, and I am nervous. Mostly because of how much I sold in my last market, which again, you can check out. Hopefully I'll link it up there. Yeah. But I may have said this in the last video, but I'm gonna say it again. I only have about like 15-ish days, maybe 16, 17, to try and restock as much as possible for my next convention. And if I work really hard, I can usually make around $50 a day in inventory because I can't crochet hours and hours and hours every day. That's just not feasible for my wrists and for my well-being. So, and for obviously time reasons, I have other things I need to do. So let's just say 15 days of prep times $50 worth of inventory in every day. That's about, I think it's, wait, I don't want to be telling you lies. 1 second. Yes. And yes, I have a calculator on my desk. I could just use my phone, but I'm using it to film, so. But that is about $750 in restock inventory. Ideally, it would be 1,000 or more. But again, as I mentioned, I don't know if I can do that. Hopefully, I stay motivated and able enough to actually make the 50 a day. If not, I'm just gonna have to go to a 2-day market feeling a little bit unprepared. And this convention is something I've never done before. I have no idea how busy it's going to be. I could possibly sell everything the first day and have nothing for the second day. I don't know, but I want to try and be as prepared as possible, which means making at least $50 of inventory every day, which I've been doing. I've been doing good so far. And it's been like 3 days? It's Wednesday today. The market was this last Saturday. I crashed on Sunday, so don't ask me about that one. But Monday, Tuesday, and then today I'm still working on the $50. Do you want to see what I've made in the 2 days that I've been prepping so far? This is one of my bigger items. This is Dragon to try and restock from all the ones I sold last time. It's a purple one, and the spikes and the wings are shimmery. I don't know if you can tell at all, but like this color is sparkly. Yeah, I can't tell on the camera screen, so. I've made a Junimo. I need to make more of these. I got the pattern specifically for this event because I've done a few other Junimo patterns. One of them was way too small. It was like, the other one was really big and I can't physically make multiple of those. So I'm just gonna make this one because it's more of a medium-ish size. I can make multiple. I made 6 of these mini bees. For the minis recently, I've been trying to embroider the eyes as much as possible just to give like options for baby safe. But there are 6 bees. Mini bees, because I need to restock my minis bin, obviously. I made 5 of my mini mallards. This is my pattern. The mini birds is a separate bin from the minis, just because it would be too full putting them together, but they're the same price. And then, so far today, I have made 2 mini pineapples for my minis bin, and 1 hooded rat. You can't see the eye very well. That's why I added the white accent. But this one is also my pattern. The pattern doesn't come with the hooded color changes. I just kind of freehand that. But that's what I've made so far today. Obviously, it's only just after lunch, so there's more I need to make. What was I going to make anyway today? I need to make oh yeah. So I've been trying to write out what I need to make every day. Not too far ahead. Who knows? But at least at the beginning of each day, I try and write out what I'm going to make that day. So the other thing I need to make today is another Junimo. I was going to make a purple one. And a chef rat, which is inspired by Ratatouille, obviously. So yeah, I make little Remy's. Why am I holding air? I don't know. But it's using the same rat pattern that I just showed you, just in blue and wearing a little free-handed chef hat. So that's the plan to the rest of the day today. I'm getting by a bit, I mean quite overwhelmed with the amount of stuff I need to make before this next convention. I keep forgetting that's gonna be 2 days. I don't think it's fully registered yet in my brain. So I'm just gonna be market prepping a lot. I also have to do my mock table setup. It's also Easter in between now and then. So yeah, I'm gonna make some progress on prepping. And I'll see you later. It's later. I'm back. Well, I didn't go anywhere. I'm just back filming, I guess. But as you saw in the clip, I finished the purple Junimo. Wow, it's not focusing. It really does not want to focus. But this is the purple Junimo. I was considering doing the blanket brights in Pow Purple because it's more game accurate, but I love this line of yarn, and this is the one I used. It's one of the baby blankets. It's the color Lavender Fields. But there's a whole line of these with like super quick variegation, and it has white speckles throughout. It's not the frosting. It's different than the frosting. But I think they may have discontinued it. It was out for like a few months, and Canada never really got all the colors. I found like half of them, and I had to order the rest online. They might be available at Yarnspirations right now. That's where I got mine. The rest of the ones I missed. Come on. Focus. I mean, kind of focusing. Anyway, that's a purple Junimo. And instead of making a chef rat, I was kind of vibing with the Junimos and decided to make another Junimo. It's a pink one. It's so cute. Look at this cutie. The camera's like, whoa, super weird. It looks not great on camera, but it's the color Coral Blossom, again in the baby blanket. I was considering doing the pink one in this line, but I'm like, you know what? I need to use something else. So I did the Coral Blossom, but I think that's it for now. Where did my Junimo fall? Anyway, it's almost dinner time. I'm gonna be done for now. I might make something later, but I might just take a break and be done for the night. So I will see you whenever I film next. I just wanted to show you some stuff I made today. So first off, obviously, the pink Junimo that I was making in the last clip. And then actually this one was made yesterday, but it's a blue Junimo. Look how cute. And then I made a second blue Junimo today. They look the exact same. I don't know why I'm showing you. I made another green Junimo. I use a slightly darker green than the one I made yesterday. I think I like the lighter one, but I had so much of this darker green, I decided to use it. And at least now I know that I prefer the lighter green. And then I'm also in progress of making another purple Junimo. I probably won't show you this one finished because it looks the exact same as the one that I showed you yesterday. Oh yeah, also I made some more minis. These are 2 little blueberries. They look kind of goofy, but you know. I'm trying to embroider the minis as much as possible. Some of them I won't be, like the whales, because they're kind of harder to embroider and actually get it to look good. But the rest of them that I'm used to embroidering, I will embroider. But I think that's the update for today. I might film something later, but I'm done for today. Except for the purple Junimo. I will finish that at some point though. Today is Thursday, which means it's the day before the start of the market. I'm going to show you a couple things I've made in the last few days since last recording. And then I have something else to tell you. But you get to be patient. Don't skip ahead. There's only 4 things in this basket, but I promise you I made more than that. I just didn't grab duplicates. So, yeah. So I made some chickens. Well, I finished off the chickens, meaning I actually recruited some help to make the chicken bodies. I did all the details though, and sewing and finishing. But one of my family members was like, yeah, I can help you, because I was super stressed out with everything I needed to make, and there was no time for the chickens. So they helped me make the chickens. There was 2 tweed chickens and 4 of the blue chickens. Different types of blue for some of them, but those 4 blue ones. And then I also finished off 2 more chef rats. I love their tails. They just curl around. It's so fun. But that means I have 8 chef rats. Hopefully that's enough. Because as I said before, they sold out at the last market. And then the other thing I had to tell you, what am I doing? I am tired. In case you couldn't tell, I've been crocheting for weeks. Well, 2.5 weeks straight. Like long hours every day. So I'm really done with crochet. I need to take a break after this. But I just did the calculations for how much I've actually crocheted in the last 2.5 or so weeks. Because I've been keeping track of all the dollar amount of inventory I've made. Basically the amount that I would sell each item for, and added all that up. I made $1,068 in 2.5 weeks. Oh my goodness. That's like usually how much I make in a few months. No wonder I'm so tired. Also, I'm low in the frame. Sorry, I keep slouching. But after this market, I am taking a break from crochet because it's starting to take a toll on my hands and my mental capacity to do things. So I'm just like dreading every time I crochet, which means I'm probably burnt out. I just haven't been able to afford time to get over the burnout. I've just had to push through it. So that's been fun. But yeah, break time after the market. Speaking of the market, I'm still very nervous, even with the extra $1,000 of inventory I've made. I'm still incredibly nervous that Friday will be a super busy day. And Saturday, I'll have nothing because I'll be out of stock. I don't mind if Friday's a slow day and Saturday is a really busy day because Saturday would be the last day of the market and I don't mind selling out then. But if I sell out the first day and have nothing for the second day, I don't know what I'm going to do about that. But I'll just have to see tomorrow. Also have to take my table down still because the mock setup is still out in the living room. In other news, I haven't told you yet. I might have told you about the printer. If not, I'll just cut this part. But my family has like this ancient color printer. I decided instead of getting a new color printer, I would try and fix up the old one. So I fixed it up, I cleaned it. There was quite a bit of ink just dried on there, and so I took some water and some cotton swabs and I cleaned everything and it worked. Except for the fact that it wasn't actually printing anything. Like the paper would run through and there was nothing on it. And so I decided to get some new ink cartridges, and it's working. Granted, the ink cartridges are expensive. I knew that. But it is working now. And it's printing. And if I have it on the right settings, the printing actually looks really good. Granted, I don't have much to compare it to because I've never had like a really good printer. It's really rare that I have like a printer in general, so I can't tell you how nice it's been to have a printer in my room. But being able to like use the Cricut that I'm borrowing from a family member, it's right here. Anyway, and be able to send it from the Cricut program directly to the printer and then directly take it from the printer and put it in the Cricut instead of having to wait for people to get home with stuff printed from shops or just printed elsewhere. It's been so nice. Also, if I didn't tell you either, I realized that I could cut out the button press circles with the Cricut instead of having to do it by hand. That's been a game changer. I think I might make a video in the future, not about crochet, instead more like just business stuff and illustration stuff, because I've been considering it a lot and I think I'm going to switch my business from just being just crochet to being more of like a category of stuff. Like, how to explain this? Instead of just specializing in one specific craft, I make stuff for specific audiences, which is what you're supposed to do in business anyway. You're supposed to have like target customers and whatever. I need to think about it more. Well, actually, I've thought about it a lot. I'm just having a hard time articulating. Oh, I wanted to show you something. I think I've shown you this on here. Maybe I haven't. But this is my pastel sprinkle rat with a frilly collar. But I decided to illustrate the sprinkle rat, and so I drew it out. I printed it on sticker paper, and then I cut it out, and then I laminated it. Well, actually I laminated it before I cut it out because it's a whole process. Anyway, what I'm getting at is that I made a holographic sticker. Wow, it's really not showing you the holographic, but there's the sticker. It's backwards right now, but you can kind of tell that's holographic. Well, sparkly. It's not really holographic, it's more sparkly. Sorry. But you can kind of see that sparkle in there. It's a sparkly sticker of my art. It's so cool. It's so cool. The satisfaction that I get from making things that I've designed in person is so cool. That's why I started crocheting, because I wanted to take things that I've designed while drawing and make them in physical form, like this friend. Anyway, what else was I gonna talk about? I'm just kind of rambling at this point. It's still pretty early in the morning. What time is it? Okay, off my head you come. It's actually 10:30. I lied. So it is kind of early, but not as early as I thought it was. Because obviously time passes. That's something it does. Anyway, before the market tomorrow, I still have to take down the table, make sure I have everything, charge stuff. I need to charge my iPad and my Square and my phone, and the charging block. I tagged everything yesterday, so that's done. I put labels on all the bags. And business cards. Oh, yeah, business cards. That was the other thing. I have like 20 left after putting one in each bag. I only have 20 left for my table. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I think if I ran out on the first day, I'm going to print like a QR code or something. Because I don't have time to order more. I could make more and print them and cut them out myself because I can do that now. I just don't want to do that. But anyway, enough rambling for now. I will see you at some point. It might be tomorrow. It might be today again, but I'll have to see. It's the Tuesday? No, Wednesday after the market. As always, I'm sorry, we're not getting any extra footage. This was my first ever 2-day market. It was a Friday, Saturday. So let's just recap a little bit of what happened. Also, just first off, the Junimos, the little apple creatures that were on one of the shelves. You may have noticed in the footage that there was less of them than the start. I actually took half of them off the shelf for reasons I don't actually remember right now. None of them actually sold though, so if you're seeing that and being like, wow, you sold all the Junimos. No. So the Friday, you know how I said earlier this week that I hope that the Friday is slower so I don't sell out of everything? I didn't mean that slow. It was not great. My table fee for both days was $250, which means each day was about $125. I wanted to make back the $250 the first day, at least. Let's just say I barely made back table fee for both days on the Friday. The biggest thing I sold that day was the Totoro, which just tells me that I need to make more Totoros because both markets I've brought them to now, they've sold really early on. But for Friday, I had a total of 13 sales, which just goes to tell you how slow that day was. I mean, I appreciate all the sales. I was just hoping for more. Now, to compare the Friday amount of sales to the Saturday. Saturday had 36. Yeah. But it still didn't feel as busy as I would have liked. Obviously, the Saturday was a bit busier. There were more people walking around that weren't just vendors. There were actually, customers coming in and looking and purchasing, which was good. But for the table fee being $250 for both days, I expected a little bit more. Not expected, but wish it would have been. But Saturday, I had probably the most exciting purchase that happened was my sand seal plushie sold. I kept telling my family that if my sand seal... Excuse me, I'm trying to film. Just keeps getting worse. I'll be right back. But I kept telling my family that if my giant dragon, my galaxy sprite, either of the Animal Crossing ducks, or the sand seal sold, I would be very happy. And one of them sold. The sand seal sold. I was so happy. Those were all the ones that were in the top left shelf on my display. Maybe I'll put up a picture or something. So even though this market was not everything that I wanted it to be, it still had good moments. I got to support some other artists, some other vendors. I was right across from one of the freeze-dried candy vendors. All day Friday I was looking at the freeze-dried candy and I'm like, I really, really want some. So Saturday I finally decided to get some and I was munching on that stuff all day. Oh yeah, one other thing I forgot to mention. There were, for this event, there were maybe 20 vendors, maybe 30, but there were like 4 or 5 crochet vendors, specifically crochet plushie vendors in that number, which is a pretty big percentage for that low amount of vendors. I just hope that everyone else did okay on Saturday, because everyone else I talked to, Friday was not good for them. We all seemed to be in the same boat. It was just not great. Something else I found out, after I had originally signed up like months ago, they had opened single day slots, so you didn't have to go to both days to be a vendor. If I were to go to this event again and it was going to be 2 days, I would probably only do the Saturday. Even though I am glad to have had the 2-day experience. It was really nice not to have to pack up everything the first day. We could just get up, grab the important stuff and leave. Which, you know, and cover the booth. I had like an extra tablecloth. Anyway, just to recap again, I guess. The event was alright. If it was only Friday, it would not have been amazing, for me at least. But since it was the 2 days and Saturday was better, it was overall alright. Will I go back next year? I don't know. I would have to see what else is happening and if they even do it next year again. But I think that's everything I wanted to mention. So at this point, I guess it's time to do an outro. Thank you so much for watching if you've made it to this point in the video. I thoroughly appreciate it. Hopefully you got something out of this. If it was just background noise, if it was something to listen to while you're working on your own project, if it taught you anything, if whatever, great. But thank you again for watching. Bye.